Tori's trying to avoid her adulthood, but we're getting into it.
Yep. It continued into my relationships.
Right.
So, yeah.
But in the relationships, did you take on narcissistic tendencies, or did you take on the flight role?
I was like the fixer, like the one who would, like, my archetype of person was the fucked up damsel in distress who like needed me to be the fucking hero because it was the only way that I could feel valued and needed.
Okay.
But then I always ended up becoming the punching bag and the taking the brunt of whatever that person was dealing with.
Okay.
And then that led to a bunch of relationships that I honestly should have never gotten into.
Yeah. But we've said before that when you have no self-worth, you choose people who treat you how you feel like you're deserving of.
Yes, yes. And I continually took back people, and it was very like, it wasn't like a, you cheated on me one and done. It was going through these cycles with the same fucking people over and over again.
Yeah.
And
it got physical in some of them.
In one of them, it, the one that caused me the most relationship trauma, I was dealing with her for 6 years, and
bitch. Sorry.
No, not sorry.
Bitch. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. You stupid
Rhea, that was her equivalent of farting in your face.
It's very toxic, and she was like literally her ex.
Yeah,
but things had gotten physical.
It was a spiritual relationship, right? There was always talk of spirituality, and like, so it was almost like turned you off to the idea of spirituality in a way.
Yes, yeah. When her and I stopped, that was when I became like an atheist.
Yeah,
and like stopped believing in the things that I had believed in. That relationship set me back in life in general.
I want to go back to how because we talked about how you were introduced to spirituality when you were like 16.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that you get into a relationship and you're like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. Like, it had to have felt like it was going to be something good when you started.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
like so opposite of what ended up happening.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be together.
Did she kind of like mirror you?
How old were you actually when you were with her?
When I met her, I was 24.
Who introduced you to spirituality then first?
My ex-girlfriend's mom.
Oh, yeah.
So she was very young. That's what I mean. Like, so she knew about this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you find this person, you're like, oh, we have similarities. We're on the same
wavelength. Yeah.
Wavelength.
For sure.
And did she like I said, in a narcissistic way, like mirror you? Is that what she was doing?
It was very much like love bombing. Like showing me affection in places that I needed the affection. My grandmother, when I met her, my grandmother was dying, and she was just there, and I'd never had somebody just show up like that.
So it was a trauma bond also.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a trauma bond for sure. And then, I mean, there were signs of like control and signs of like her being a narcissist, but I overlooked them. I didn't know what to look for.
Right.
And so I was just like, no, I love this girl.
It's not like you're in today's day and age on TikTok where every other TikTok is like, here's the signs of a narcissist.
I know,
right. Like if you were in the relationship today, you'd be like, oh shit.
I didn't know any
red
of
flag,
these
red
either.
flag, red flag.
I would have known. Right. I had no idea what the fuck even a narcissist was.
Right.
Oh my God, see?
None of us
I
did.
was like, what the fuck?
No,
She
I
was,
didn't know.
she was telling me about this.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Amber
what?
was the one who opened my eyes about what it was too when I was in my relationship.
Yeah. I taught you about gaslighting, stonewalling.
Yeah, all these things that I had no idea about. I'm just like,
you just thought that they were behaviors.
Normal stuff because I see it growing up. So I'm just like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was to like. All I knew was I felt crazy throughout the entire relationship. I felt like I questioned myself a lot, like, and then beat myself up a lot for everything was my fault. Everything was my family's fault. Everything was my friend's fault.
So you finally found a way out of that.
Yeah, I finally just drew a hard boundary and was like, you know, she really fucked me over for the last time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
for giving her back to us.
Yeah. No, legit.
Yeah.
And I had to repair a lot of most of my friendships.
That's where I was going. what did life look like after her?
Right after, it was very lonely. I mean, I was isolated from everybody for years, and then after her, the friends that were always there for me that I had to give up, when they finally saw that it was finally done, like they just showed up right away, and like
they knew.
Yeah. They knew
why,
but I had a lot of guilt for it because she made me. It was the ultimatum: either if you want to be with me, you have to let go of these people,
Right?
And I was like, well, I want to be with you. So I deaded pretty much all of my friends.
Did she? I'm sorry, babe. Did she dead anybody, or was it only you had to leave people?
She claimed like she deaded certain people, but like she was never somebody who had like longevity.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
People like them don't have a close support because they've burned all their bridges.
Right.
Got you.
So you're the only person they have,
It's a control
Basically.
thing,
and
so
they
they
want you to
isolate.
be them to be the only person that you have.
Got you.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
And they don't build deep, long-lasting connections because
People see through them.
Right. They don't. They don't show people who they really are.
Yeah.
Because if they did, you'd be found out.
Right.
Damn, how do you live like that?
A
Right.
lot of people
Life
do.
must be fucking hard to
A
fake.
lot of people live that way.
She told me, she went as far as like I have a lot of friends from childhood, a lot of friends that I grew up with, and knew from fucking middle school that I still have to this day. And she told me, and really made me believe it, that I was immature because I didn't walk away from those connections. Like, oh, you grow out of those. Like, you're supposed to walk away from the people. You're not supposed to know the
Unless
people.
they grow with you.
Right, exactly. And so in my head, I was always taught, like, keeping those friendships with those foundations, as long as they're healthy and there's nothing going on, can show that you know how to maintain relationships.
Right.
And she mind fucked me to believe, like, oh no, you have to grow away. You grow apart from those people. You shouldn't be so like friendly with them anymore. And I'm like, is she right? Like my whole entire life, I just questioned everything.
Wow. She was insecure and wanted you to herself.
So how did it make your family and friends feel when you were being distant towards them? Like, were they understanding to say, okay, she's in a situation, or were they like, this is
Upset
fucked
with
up?
you?
Yeah.
A lot of them fought back. A lot of them were angry with me. A lot of them I still don't talk to this day, but like those are the ones that I've grown apart from anyway. The ones that really loved me were there the minute everything kind of came crumbling down. They were like, well, we knew this was going to happen. Here we are to pick up.
So in a
pieces.
way, and I'm not giving her any credit, but you kind of got rid of the garbage anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like you kind of had in a way to go through those experiences to see who was really there for you.
100%.
She the one who cheated on you too?
Well, so we had broken up. And for 3 years after our breakup, she was dangling me. And I had genuinely thought that she wasn't talking to anybody because she didn't want me even going out to the bars with my friends.
Even after you broke up?
Even after we broke up. And I was loyal to that.
Wow.
For 3 years.
Wow.
I barely left my house. She didn't want me to have friends. And I was like, okay, fine. I really want to be back with you.
Oh my God. That explains so much.
Yeah. So yeah, it was heavy like mental abuse.
It explains
Very
so
bad.
much as to why you're like, I need independence, like hyper independence.
Yes.
I need to go out. I need to like
Yes.
with people. Like
I isolated myself.
She traumatized you so hard.
Yes.
That you now need to keep a ton of people in your life, even if there's not substance.
Yeah.
Just because you want to be able to have that for yourself.
Right. And she could.
It's so funny seeing it because you pointed out like
No,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Because she could look at me and be like, that person sucks. And I could see that person sucks. But I'll figure it out. Like, I want to be the one.
You want to be the one to say
it.
Yeah.
And
no
I'll
one else should be able to tell you. I get
that's
it.
another
Right.
trauma.
But it's a trauma
It's a
also
trauma thing.
to also not allow people who actually genuinely love you and are like, this is bad for you because we're not her.
Yeah, no,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's like you have to learn that line too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I had to dead everybody. And so I didn't have friends for 3 years. And y'all know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that doesn't have friends.
Right.
You know? And so for 3 years, she dangled me in that way. And I was loyal because she literally, it was my fault that we broke up. It was my fault that like I was the perpetrator.
Kind of odd because Rio kind of went through a similar situation like that.
Yeah.
Like the dangling, the narcissism, making you feel crazy, making you feel like you have no self-worth anyway. So you're like, you know.
It was constant for 3 years trying to prove my worth in order for us to get back together.
Right.
And then she would push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. And it was very tumultuous. And then if ever I said, well, fuck this, I'm going to go live my life, I'm single, it was, how dare you? And like, don't you want to be back with me? Blah, blah, blah. What had happened was, she had finally started coming back around, making amends with my friends. Like she was like making an effort to be around everybody and like seeing my family. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like we were seeing each other a lot and things like that.
Yeah.
And I thought things were on the mend. And she, again, just a lot of gaslighting. She had a wedding that she was going to go to for her cousin. And she was invited with a +1. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to take you. And I think it was like the week before the wedding or whatever, a couple weeks before the wedding, she starts distancing herself. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
She started a fight and said,
no, not even.
Oh.
She literally was, I asked her about the wedding the week before and I'm like, am I going to that wedding with you? And she was like, oh, he forgot to invite me with a +1. And I was like, okay. Didn't question it. She goes to the wedding and completely ghosts me. And then I found out a week later, she was talking to some other girl the whole time.
Wow.
And brought the girl to the wedding.
Oh my God. Cringe.
Who'd you find out from? Somebody at the wedding or
it
something?
was like people who knew me had seen her in a picture with the other girl and was like, wait, that's like I saw her with Tori not too long ago. What the fuck is going on? Sent pictures to my best friend. It got back to me.
Wow.
And like, yeah, by the grace of God, because she would have dangled me, she'd probably still be dangling
It's
me.
wild because I just keep hearing correlations of like the shit she went through and it sounds very similar.